Prior to me getting to the part of the medicine, I was also thinking, right? I was like just thinking. I was just like, you went through so much as a child, and you went through so much as an adult, and then you allow so many things to happen to you, and then these things right now are actively happening right now, right? Like I know what's happening, you know. Nobody needs to come and apologize. Nobody needs to do none of that. I'll go to sleep and wake up and know what the fuck you did. All right. And in my heart, um, I feel like I need to say this. I also know about my son. So take his picture out of wherever you have it on. Just take it off. Okay. Um, I was thinking, like, these things happened. I don't have to name uh, the type of abuse, neglect, and all that good stuff. Like, we already know what that is. Um, you guys kind of seen how I've evolved and stuff. And one of the things that I was guided by God to do always was to forgive it all, forgive it all. And even as a child, I looked at the things that were happening to me in a way where, like, it's like, I'm not going to let this happen to nobody else. Right? And then when I look at my daughter, she is not to be touched. The same thing for my boys, but I'm a little bit, it's a little different with my daughter. So, and then I also, I look at my bloodline, right? And I know I'm not the only one. I know that this has been something that has been happening for many lifetimes. Um, they have gone through it, but the difference is that they became bitter. They never forgave. And instead of trying to heal it or to do something different, they continue with the pattern, right? Which led them to do horrific stuff, horrific stuff. The thing with me is that, one, I don't operate like that. I will not have anything to do with you for the rest of my life, but I'll forgive you, you know? I'll forgive you and move on. And I'll work on that. Like, I worked on that. I write. I take care of my body. I meditate. And I would go to the places where I was hurt at and just play the scenario over again until the outcome was different. So I kept wondering, like, why am I so different, you know? Or why are they so different? And well, what I came to the conclusion was that they never healed, they never forgave. And so then I started looking at things in a form of, like, it's a spirit of unforgiveness. And then I thought about, like, how did the dark side take over them? How did it gain access to them? And I was like, oh, it's because they're hurt. They're hurt, and they carry resentments, and they carry unforgiveness, and they carry pain that they never healed. Then when I looked at it like that, I was like, oh, this is how this motherfucker gained access. It was by playing with their weaknesses, which is that unforgiveness, that pain, that jealousy. And then one of the reasons why they probably hate my guts, it's because no matter what they do to me, I keep being loving, caring, kind, and forgiving. Except that before I was very naive, so I would just be on the like revolving door type of thing, like, well, you could come back in and do it again. You could come back in and do it again. Until this time around, I was like, no more, enough. And I grew a backbone, and I was like, I'm just not gonna deal with this shit no more. I don't have to. I don't have to. I don't have to participate in that. And then once I did that, they became more diabolical to the point where they wanted to take my life. And even in the part of where they wanted to take my life, since this is what I've been like, I was trained for this. Like, my childhood was horrible. Like, a lot of people don't make it. So I knew what to do this time around. I knew what I needed to do. I knew that and also I was being guided by God and my ancestors. Like, I was guided to like cut out anything that would associate me with those type of practices. So in these type of practices, with some different types of societies that they're involved in, they do rituals, and that involves blood, right? And it involves harming others and speaking bad upon others and things like that. So I was guided to not participate in anything that seemed like a ritual. And so for me, it was like, what do I eat? What do I consume? So it was like meat. So I had to cut out that meat, because the meat, you kill it, right? And then its blood comes out, right? So it's like a sacrifice. So I was not to eat any meat, right? And then it was like, you also have to move your body. Like, you need to go to the gym. And so I went to the gym. I started with Pilates first, but then I started going to the gym. And then it was like, well, you need to consume water, and you need to consume this fruit, and you need to consume this vegetable. And you need to do spiritual baths. And that's what I did. So the more that they try to send me things over to me, it's like nothing hits. Nothing hits, because I went ahead and I aligned myself in such a way that I don't like, I'm not like, that only works on people that don't know what's happening. If you know what's happening, right, and you make yourself, if you get into alignment, and you get yourself into alignment by, watching what you eat, keeping up with your prayers, getting outside, what else? Not engaging in evil shit like gossip or slandering or defamation of character. So I did the opposite of everything that they were doing towards me, which was the magic antidote. Like, these people are mad as fuck because nothing they do works. And then that's how I came to realize that, damn, if we were to just look at things as spirits, right? Not the person. Oh, and one of the things that I had to do was also, in order for me to forgive, I had to dissect, like separate the person from the spirit. So like, I'm going to give you an example. My mother, I was like, I'm going to take the title away of mother, and I'm just going to look at you of what you're doing. You're evil, cunning, buffling, and insidious, and you're always lying, and you're always manipulating, and you're always cheating me, and taking and destroying, right? So then when I looked at her like that, and not as my mother, but like I separate, like I was able to like name what she was, and then I was able to identify like what spirit is operating through her, or through those people, then I no longer identify, like, I don't identify with that spirit. So if I see it in other people, I'm not going to engage, because I don't engage with diabolical shit. You get what I'm saying? So like, if we were to look at people and just take away that title of like mother, cousin, brother, and we just look at them for how they're operating, and then we identify what spirit is operating in them, then you'll be able to forgive.